Did you know your favorite dinner could be the reason your legs feel heavy, your feet swell at night, and your kidneys slowly fail without a single warning sign? It sounds harsh, but the truth is, after age 65, your body becomes far more sensitive to what you eat, especially in the evening. Most people think leg pain and kidney decline are just part of getting old, but often the real problem is sitting right there on the dinner table. Every year, thousands of seniors suffer from leg cramps, tingling feet, or morning stiffness. Many end up on dialysis without knowing they were harming their kidneys every single night. What if it wasn't age, but just a few simple food choices causing the damage? You deserve to know the truth before it's too late. In this video, we'll talk about 6 common dinner foods that might be silently hurting your legs and slowly destroying your kidneys. Some of them sound healthy. Some are even labeled low-fat or heart-friendly, but the impact they have on your aging body devastating. Don't skip this. Your legs, kidneys, and future self will thank you. If you're over 65, you probably already know how much harder it is to recover from fatigue, leg pain, or a restless night. What you eat for dinner doesn't just affect your stomach. It affects your legs, your kidneys, your sleep, and even your energy the next morning. That's why in this video, I wanted to walk you through 6 common dinner foods that might be doing more harm than good, especially as we age. Some of these foods are easy to miss because they're sold as convenient, healthy, or even low sodium. But your body knows better. We'll look at each one together. For every food, I'll tell you what it does to your legs and kidneys, why it's a problem after age 65, and what you can do instead. Simple changes, big difference. No fear tactics, just honest, helpful advice based on science and real experience with older adults. If you care about your health and want to feel better in your legs and kidneys, stick with me through this video. And if this kind of content helps you, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. We're building a place where seniors can stay informed and in control. Let's dive into the first one. You may be surprised. 1. Too much sodium in your dinner. The first hidden danger we need to talk about is too much sodium at dinner, especially the kind that hides in foods we assume are healthy. Margaret, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Indiana, had always been careful with her diet. She didn't eat chips, rarely went out for fast food, and never added salt at the table. In fact, she thought she was doing everything right. Most nights, she had a bowl of vegetable soup or a microwavable light frozen dinner, followed by a cup of canned fruit or a low-fat cracker with a little cheese. But over the last year, Margaret noticed that her legs began to swell by the time she got ready for bed. Some nights she'd feel pressure in her calves, and when she tried to slip on her shoes in the morning, they felt tighter than the day before. She assumed it was just part of aging until she brought it up at a local senior health workshop. When the nutritionist reviewed her typical meals, the problem became clear. Her light frozen dinner had nearly 900 milligrams of sodium. The vegetable soup added another 700, and the canned fruit was packed in syrup and had preservatives that contributed even more. Altogether, Margaret's dinner alone was giving her more than 2,000 milligrams of sodium, almost the recommended limit for the entire day. As we age, our kidneys naturally become less efficient. Sodium, which helps regulate fluid balance, becomes harder to flush out. Excess sodium causes the body to hold on to water, leading to swelling in the lower legs and feet. It also puts extra pressure on the kidneys, forcing them to filter more aggressively just when they should be resting. That combination swelling, pressure, and poor overnight recovery leads to leg discomfort, and over time may contribute to kidney fatigue. Margaret didn't need to give up dinner. She simply learned to choose better. She started making her own soups using low-sodium broth and fresh vegetables, swapped canned fruit for sliced apples or berries, and started checking labels before buying packaged meals. In just 3 weeks, her swelling decreased, her sleep improved, and her energy returned. Small shifts made a big impact. Sodium is easy to overlook because it hides in foods that feel familiar, convenient, or even healthy. But once you understand where it lives, you can take control. And while sodium is a silent troublemaker, the next dinner habit we'll look at is heavier both on your plate and on your kidneys. Let's talk about red meat at night. 2. Red meat too late in the evening. The second dinner mistake many seniors unknowingly make is eating red meat too late in the evening. Joe, a 72-year-old retired construction worker from Texas, had always loved a good steak. For him, grilling a thick cut of beef with some potatoes and green beans was more than a meal, it was a tradition, a way to feel strong, grounded, and in control. He believed protein was important, especially for men his age, and he wasn't wrong about that. But over the past year, Joe noticed something strange. He began waking up with stiff legs and aching joints. And sometimes he'd feel a sharp pinching pain in his lower back at 4 a.m. His wife thought it might be arthritis. His doctor ordered tests, but they didn't show anything alarming. It wasn't until Joe met with a dietitian that they considered a different angle, the timing and type of protein he was eating. Red meat, especially beef and pork, is rich in saturated fats and dense proteins that are harder to break down. While the body can handle these nutrients during the day, consuming them at night means your digestive system and kidneys must stay active long after you've gone to bed. During sleep, the body is supposed to repair tissues and reduce inflammation. But when the kidneys are still working overtime to process urea and nitrogen waste from heavy meat, they can't fully rest. This late-night load not only disrupts deep sleep, it also increases the risk of inflammation in the lower limbs, leading to that familiar morning stiffness, tight calves, and even occasional cramping. For someone like Joe, who didn't realize his dinner was the cause, the fix came as a relief. He started eating red meat earlier in the day, usually for lunch, and shifted to lighter plant-based proteins at night. Some days he'd have grilled salmon with quinoa and steamed vegetables. Other nights, he'd enjoy lentil soup with a slice of whole grain bread. Within a few weeks, he was sleeping through the night, and the leg pain that once woke him up had almost disappeared. He didn't have to give up the foods he loved, he just had to eat them smarter. Timing, as it turns out, is everything when it comes to aging and digestion. And while red meat is heavy on your kidneys, the next danger is sneakier. It comes in small bottles and packets, and it's often added without a second thought. But these sweet sauces and dressings, like barbecue, teriyaki, or even ketchup, could be quietly damaging your kidneys and inflaming your legs one spoonful at a time. 3. Sugary sauces and dressings. The third hidden trap in a senior's dinner routine often comes from sweet sauces and dressings. Those innocent-looking condiments like barbecue sauce, teriyaki glaze, ketchup, and even certain salad dressings. Carol, a 70-year-old retired bookkeeper from Georgia, was always careful about what she ate. She rarely touched desserts, avoided soda, and made most of her meals at home. But like many people, she still wanted her food to taste good. So with every dinner, she'd add a little barbecue sauce to her grilled chicken or a spoonful of ketchup to her roasted potatoes. Sometimes she'd toss her salad with a light honey mustard dressing that claimed to be heart-healthy. Over time, Carol began feeling a burning sensation in her legs at night and a strange tingling in her feet. She chalked it up to aging nerves or maybe poor circulation. But when her doctor ruled out diabetes and her blood pressure was normal, she started to wonder if something else was going on. A dietitian helped her uncover the problem. Each tablespoon of her favorite sauces was loaded with added sugar, often in the form of high-fructose corn syrup and hidden sodium. Even though the portions were small, the effects were large. These sugars cause rapid spikes in blood glucose, leading to inflammation in the blood vessels, especially the tiny capillaries in the legs and kidneys. The inflammation affects circulation, causing heaviness, swelling, and burning sensations in the lower limbs. And when the kidneys are exposed to high sugar and sodium levels consistently, their filtering ability declines gradually, leading to long-term damage without any obvious early warning signs. What shocked Carol most was how these sauces were marketed as healthy or low-fat. Yet, they were silently sabotaging her body. The solution wasn't to stop enjoying flavor, it was to make smarter choices. Carol began preparing her own sauces using olive oil, vinegar, lemon, garlic, and herbs. She discovered mustard without added sugar and even made a homemade tomato sauce using fresh tomatoes, which gave her meals rich flavor without the hidden damage. Within just 2 weeks, the burning in her legs eased up and she felt more energized in the morning. It was a small shift that made a big difference. When we age, even tiny ingredients can have big effects. And sauces are often the hidden culprits we never question. But if flavor can be deceptive, so can comfort food, especially dairy. Let's take a closer look at how nighttime cheese and milk might be affecting your legs and kidneys more than you think. For too much dairy. The fourth food habit that can quietly hurt your legs and kidneys is eating too much dairy at night, especially cheese. Harold, a 76-year-old retired firefighter from Ohio, never considered himself unhealthy. He walked every day, drank plenty of water, and stayed away from fast food. But he had one nightly tradition that he absolutely loved. After dinner, usually around 8:30 p.m., he'd settle into his recliner with a small plate of crackers and cheddar cheese paired with a glass of cold milk. It was his way to unwind and reward himself after a long day. Over time, however, Harold began waking up with numb toes, stiff calves, and a strange heaviness in his legs. He assumed it was poor circulation, maybe even early nerve damage, but his doctor found no clear cause. Curious and frustrated, Harold started paying closer attention to his evening habits. When he spoke to a nutritionist at a local senior center, the issue became clear. Cheese, while rich in calcium and protein, is also high in saturated fat and sodium, two things that, when consumed at night, can interfere with circulation and kidney function. Saturated fat can contribute to the buildup of plaque in the arteries, restricting blood flow to the legs. Sodium, on the other hand, increases water retention and puts added strain on the kidneys as they work to balance fluids overnight. For older adults, this means more inflammation, reduced circulation, and poor muscle recovery. That's why many seniors who eat heavy dairy products late in the day report waking up feeling bloated, tight, or achy in the legs. Harold didn't want to give up his nightly snack completely, so he made a few gentle adjustments. He switched from cheddar to a lighter goat cheese, which is lower in sodium and easier to digest. He swapped cow's milk for unsweetened almond milk and moved his snack an hour earlier, giving his body more time to digest before bed. Within 2 weeks, the stiffness in his legs began to ease, and he was waking up more refreshed. He still enjoyed his routine, just in a way that supported his aging body instead of stressing it. Dairy can still have a place in a healthy diet, but the timing and quantity matter more than most people think. And while dairy creates a slow strain on circulation, the next danger is faster and sneakier. It hides in everyday comfort foods like white bread, white rice, and pasta, and it spikes your blood sugar just when your body needs peace. Let's talk about refined carbs. 5. White bread and refined carbs. The fifth food habit that quietly works against your legs and kidneys is eating too many refined carbohydrates at dinner, especially white bread, white rice, and traditional pasta. Ella Lehner, a 71-year-old retired school secretary from Illinois, prided herself on eating simple home-cooked meals. Her dinners were always light: grilled chicken, steamed vegetables, and a slice of white bread or half a cup of rice. She never thought twice about it. But over the past year, Ella Lehner began waking up in the middle of the night with her legs feeling like dead weight. Sometimes she'd experience a strange tingling in her toes or a sudden jolt of discomfort in her calves around 3 a.m. Her sleep became fragmented, and she often felt more tired in the morning than when she went to bed. When her doctor found nothing concerning in her blood work, she was told it might be just part of aging. But Ella Lehner didn't accept that answer. She spoke with a holistic nutritionist who asked her to keep a food journal, paying special attention to her evening meals. That's when the problem revealed itself. Refined carbs such as white bread and white rice are stripped of fiber and nutrients. When consumed at night, they're digested quickly and converted into glucose, causing a spike in blood sugar followed by a steep crash. This up and down pattern interferes with the body's ability to rest, repair, and regulate fluid balance during sleep. For older adults, it also increases insulin resistance over time, placing added pressure on the kidneys. The result: nighttime leg discomfort, interrupted rest, and gradual kidney strain, all caused by foods that seem harmless. Ella Lehner made a few key swaps. She replaced white bread with sprouted whole grain toast and switched from white rice to brown rice or quinoa. She also began adding a handful of leafy greens to her dinners, which helped slow down digestion and stabilize her blood sugar. Within just 10 days, she noticed that her sleep improved, her legs felt less heavy, and she had more energy in the morning. The beauty of these changes was that they didn't require giving up comfort food, they just meant choosing the right kind. Refined carbs may seem soft, familiar, and easy, but they create instability in the body when you need balance most. And while food plays a huge role, we can't ignore what many people sip after dinner thinking it's harmless. Let's take a look at how evening drinks, whether alcoholic or sugary, can silently trigger leg cramps and kidney stress overnight. 6. Nighttime alcohol or sweetened beverages. The sixth and final mistake many seniors make after dinner is sipping on the wrong drinks, especially alcohol or sugary beverages that seem innocent but quietly wear down your legs and kidneys overnight. Richard, a 75-year-old retired accountant from South Carolina, never considered himself much of a drinker. But every night after dinner, he'd pour a small glass of red wine to help him sleep, or sometimes enjoy a cold glass of sweet tea with ice while watching TV. It was his ritual, familiar, relaxing, and in his mind, harmless. But over time, Richard began waking up multiple times during the night, either to use the bathroom or because of painful leg cramps that made him twist and turn in bed. His energy in the morning dropped, and he started feeling unusually sore in his lower back. His doctor checked his hydration and kidney numbers, which were slightly off but not alarming. It was only after he mentioned his nightly drinks that the picture became clear. Alcohol, even in small amounts, acts as a diuretic. It makes the kidneys work harder to filter fluid, increasing nighttime urination. This leads to mild dehydration by the early morning hours, a major trigger for muscle cramps and kidney strain. Sugary drinks like sweet tea, flavored water, or fruit juice may seem more gentle, but they flood the bloodstream with glucose, disrupting sleep and triggering inflammation in the small vessels of the legs and kidneys. The worst part is that these effects build slowly. You don't notice them right away, but over weeks and months, they compound. Richard didn't want to give up his evening comfort, so he made a few smart changes. He swapped his wine for a calming cup of herbal tea with a touch of cinnamon. For nights when he craved something cold, he infused water with slices of cucumber and lemon. These drinks were kidney-friendly, hydrating, and helped reduce nighttime inflammation. After just 2 weeks, he was sleeping more soundly, had fewer bathroom trips, and the cramps that once jolted him out of bed became rare. Sometimes it's not about giving things up, it's about replacing them with something your body will thank you for. And now that we've uncovered these 6 dinner habits that may be quietly harming your legs and kidneys, it's time to take a step back and see how small, thoughtful changes can bring back strength, comfort, and control to your daily life starting tonight. If you're still watching right now, that tells me you care about your health, and I love that. Go ahead and type the number 6 in the comments so I know you're with me. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss the next tip. Let's take a moment to breathe and bring it all together. We started this video with a simple but powerful truth. Sometimes the foods we think are harmless at dinner may be quietly hurting our legs and slowly damaging our kidneys. You learned that too much sodium, especially from canned soups and frozen meals, can lead to swelling, fluid retention, and kidney strain. You saw how red meat at night forces your body to work overtime when it should be resting, leading to muscle fatigue and poor kidney recovery. Then we talked about sweet sauces, barbecue, teriyaki, ketchup, all loaded with hidden sugars and salts that inflame your blood vessels and disrupt your sleep. We uncovered how late-night dairy, especially cheese, can clog circulation and add pressure to an already tired system. We explored the effects of refined carbs like white bread and rice, and how they cause blood sugar spikes that stress your kidneys and nerves. And finally, we talked about those innocent glasses of wine, sweet tea, or juice after dinner, the drinks that dehydrate your body and make your nights restless and painful. But here's the good news: none of this damage is permanent. Every single one of these habits can be changed. You don't need to throw out everything in your kitchen. You don't need to go on a strict diet. You just need to start with awareness. Start by looking at the back of the label. Swap one ingredient. Move one meal earlier. Drink one better beverage before bed. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to begin. All of this can be reversed. You can take pressure off your legs. You can give your kidneys the break they deserve. And it starts today. It's never too late to listen to your body, make a shift, and feel the difference. Even one good night of sleep, one pain-free morning is worth the effort. And once you feel it, you won't want to go back. Now, let's talk about the next step and how you and I can walk this journey together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If something in this video made you think, helped you feel seen, or gave you a small idea to try, please share it in the comments. I truly read what you write, and I love hearing your stories, your questions, and your progress. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing and turning on the bell so you never miss another moment of guidance and care. This channel Health Revival is here to support you, to give you practical tips, comfort, and confidence as you take control of your health. You are never too old, too tired, or too late to make a change. I believe in you, and I'm honored to be part of your journey. See you in the next video. Stay well and stay strong.